Irmak and Evren, thank you for being with me today. I'm so happy to have you in my newsletter. And we're going to talk today about something very important. And I'm going to introduce you in a minute. But what we're talking about today is AI and its impact on kids. And both Evren and Irmak are the perfect people to speak to about this because they are building something called Kids AI. And they're going to talk about it because they can do it better than I can. And I met them at the AI Everything conference in the UAE. That's how we connected. And we thought there were synergies in our values and beliefs and what we would like to do in the AI space. So here we are talking with you. Irmak is at the moment based in Kenya. And Evren, where are you?
I'm in Istanbul, but
Istanbul.
we're coming back and forth. We are always there too.
And now the whole founding team is moving to UAE. We're coming together in UAE soon.
Amazing. And even more so, very relevant is that UAE just announced that AI will now be mandatory in the curriculum for all schools. So there's lots of conversation around AI and kids and what that means for our kids and what that means for the education system and what that means for the development of our kids. And no one really has any answers, which is normal because this is a new space and everything is developing. We're learning as we go. But speaking to people like yourselves who are actually in the space, working on it day and night, building systems for our kids, I'm so happy to have you here. So let's get started. So tell me, Irmak, what inspired you to start Kids AI and to build what you're building now, which is how I understand a children's AI assistant? And what makes it different from what's already out there in the market?
First of all, thanks for having us, Sabah. And I can begin with a small introduction of what Kids AI is doing. Kids AI is a children-first technology and media company, and basically we are developing AI assistants for children and AI literacy media for children. Because obviously, when you look around, everywhere is surrounded by AI, and we need to prepare these children to this digital future. So the whole thinking was that basically. But when it comes to when you ask me where the inspiration is coming from, it's actually, as a mom, it's coming from my daughter, because how it started was really like with my daughter, who is now 5, and that time she was younger, as I started telling her about AI, and it was really interesting to see how she can grasp all these concepts, because they are the digital natives, and like they've been born into this whole world and they understand that. Then at some point he started asking me, like, if this was a AI toy, how would it answer me? Or she started really coming up with scenarios on AI. And 5 is a very young age to be engaged with that. And we think it's such an extraordinary thing, but it's not, because their reality, what they're surrounded by is that. And we realized that, okay, now like it's these AI assistants, all of us in such a short time started to use these AI assistants in our daily lives. And when we look at the future, we can see that kids will be using some sort of AI assistants. And in any case, they will be interacting with AI. So how should this interaction be? It all started from that. And if our own kids are gonna use AI, we said that we need to be the ones building this technology, both from a business point of view, but most importantly, from a parent point of view, because it's such an interesting balance. You constantly think from a business point of view, then look at it. Oh, but as a parent, how does it make me feel? We really like that aspect, but the inspiration really comes from the daily experience and interaction with my daughter.
So when you say you're building a assistant, an AI assistant for kids, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Evren, do you want to go on with this AI assistant, huh?
You
You like
can
it more?
actually describe what the AI assistant does, and I can also talk about its features because they are separate things in our case. As Irmak said, we are in the age of rapid AI automation and like rapid technological change as well. And it's going to be very soon that every child will come up like with ways to interact with AI. And then we thought of, yes, it's Zoe yes, it's Zuri, and yes, it's our children, but it's also for every child. Somebody needs to figure out things for them. And we are business owners, yes, but we have been co-founders of another media company, a children's media company, for a long time. And we have been designing content for kids for a long time, and we knew the content side of it, and we knew what we should do. But in terms of tech, we realized that there weren't enough kids space in terms of tech, and people weren't talking about what kids need. And there comes the assistant part of things, where we figured out, yes, every child will have an assistant at one point, but we need to redesign the whole system for them to be able to interact with it and safely, ethically, and beneficially. And then we came up with a life skills assistant, Oli, because in this age of automation and rapid technological change, the life skills would be the most used ones by children and by adults of the future, because like they will be the ones who are left to humans, like when AI takes over a lot of other things. The life skills, like, for example, time management, self management, giving proper decisions, or collaborating. There are many ideas around that. And we wanted to come up with the best assistant for them.
Are you looking at a particular age? Like, when do you expect the kids to start using an assistant like this?
For the assistant, we put the age group 5 to 12, but of course, yeah, it doesn't, the assistant behavior changes between 5 to 10. It's a wide age group. And recently, like it's a very dynamic thing, children over 12 don't mostly consume very children content. That's why, like in the categorization, we made it 5 to 12.
And what are you doing to ensure that the tool that you're building, is safe, aligned with, because it's a very complex task you've taken up.
Exactly.
And very much needed. And again, I understand that everything will be evolving and everything will learn as you move. But what are the few things that you are doing to ensure that this is as safe as it can be?
Apa, we needed to come up with a whole content and working system strategy for that, and to be grounding everything in science, so that we are able to work with child development experts, educators, psychologists, moms, parents, caretakers, teachers, and we train our model on the structure and created content that reflects how children actually learn, and how, what is beneficial, what is ethical for them, and how it should talk to kids is another issue for us, because we know that AI is not able to have feelings, and we need to be careful in those things as well. The most it can do is emotional reflection, which is naming the feeling. Like, it doesn't have feelings, so it doesn't act like a friend, or a real friend, I should say, or a real type of human type of companion. So we focus on the safety of the training data for the models we use, and also we prevent and we do a lot of user testing at the moment in terms of our like ethical and safety features and benefit, like making it truly beneficial for kids, and just to be like, just to give the trust to the parents and the people who are going to use it. And it's very important, this question you're asking is actually on the whole level of thinking in terms of the foundation of things.
And you said you've involved experts in this process of the training of the data sets. So you have people officially on board to do this, or how have you done that?
Yeah, in our working system, we have an innovation hub. Actually, on kidsai.io, we have been actually interviewing worldwide experts on several child and AI related matters. And we have been doing that for quite a long time right now. They can just go to kidsai.io and like they can check the interviews regarding like their interests. And then we invited those experts to our consultants hub. We created a very big consultants hub. And then while we started creating Oli, we invited them to be on board inside our innovation hub. So one part of it is doing research, one part of it is doing surveys, which we are also going to share with you, like the shorter version and the longer version, so that we get insights from moms, teachers, like parents, caregivers as a whole. And also we put the people who really know about children on various different levels in the content production. And then we put the content inside the language model itself.
And now this whole AI thing, right? Already we are having so much debate over screen time and children and how much time should children be spending on screens, whether at home or in school, and how schools now have screens because everyone after a certain year group, they have iPads. So there's a big debate over how much screen time is good screen time, how much is enough, how much is required, all of this, right? And there's no one right answer. But now with the entry of AI into all this dynamic, it's just complicated the debate more because AI now adds another layer of screen time requirement for our kids. So how do you see your tool actually supporting productive screen time use for our kids? Because I think really that's the question we need to be asking, because I feel like we cannot eliminate screens from our kids' lives because they're digital natives. They don't know anything else. And the world doesn't work without the internet, screens, and technology. So we cannot eliminate it. But I think the question is really, how can we ensure that the screen time our kids are getting is valuable? And how does that fit into what you're trying to support children with? Because it will mean that they will use a screen to get assistance, right? So
But that's a very relevant concern. Like not from a business point of view, also from a parent point of view. And our goal is not to add more screen time. It's more to transform some of the existing passive screen time into active, meaningful engagement. So Oli AI has built-in daily usage limits, even tailored to different age groups, ensuring balanced digital consumption. I think the key is like seeing AI as a tool to increase efficiency and enhance learning, but not to replace human connection. Throughout history, like humanity has adapted to transformative tools. Electricity changed how we work and live. The internet revolutionized how we access information. And each disrupted existing norms, but they also became part of our evolution and progress. So what's crucial here is the intentional design. Like unlike passive consumption of videos or games, Oli AI encourages children to think critically, ask questions, and engage actively. So it can help a child explore topics they are curious about when their parents are busy, or provide age-appropriate explanations that complement what parents are teaching. But here's what Oli cannot do. Oli is never gonna hug your child. It's not gonna be the one reading a bedtime story for your child. Nothing can replace the role of a parent. But also think that there are so many children who doesn't have that kind of exposure, that kind of attention from parents or caregivers for some other reasons as well. So as parents, as business people, we are not saying that, oh, make your child interact with screen more, make them use AI. No, it's just a tool, and its function is to turn this passive time into an active learning time, while also making them learn how to interact with AI and understand how AI works. Because it's also a very philosophical thing that this whole AI, there is an intelligence that performs. It's such a crazy thing when you think from a very general point of view. And I think it's very important for children to understand that it's not a magic. There is a computation behind that. And the more they interact with AI, the more they will understand those factors.
The more they interact with safe AI tools, we should say as well. Like it's not just any AI. We need to make sure that it's safe, beneficial, ethically sourced for them.
I think it all comes down to being AI literate.
Exactly.
Whether it's the kids or the parents. And I feel like there's a difference between just using AI and actually being AI literate. Because I feel like they're two totally different things. And I feel like everyone who's using, let's say, ChatGPT, feels that they know what is AI, but then ask them a few questions and they really don't. I think the more we as parents become AI literate so that we can help our kids be more AI literate and therefore use the tools that you're providing in order to progress is going to be really important. So as much as the kids are doing it anyway. Um,
That's why we have designed a whole show around AI literacy, Apa. It's called Zoey and Oli, and we are producing it right now with episodes of animated series. There will be supplementary materials, there will be books. Why we are designing it is to model how AI can be in our lives without disrupting the whole development process of children and without disrupting the relationship of the families within themselves.
when is that coming out?
We are working on it.
Cool.
And
I think around November we'll have a couple episodes.
Amazing.
Fingers crossed,
We
let's
can,
say. Yeah.
whoever's interested can bookmark that in their calendar to follow up.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think it's amazing what you guys are doing. And that's why I wanted to reach out to you. And also because I have a big network of mums, not only in the UAE, but all over the region. And a lot of them are actually also based internationally. And that brings me to your story, because this is where all this comes from, right? You being both being moms. How are you balancing this very complex task that you've taken upon as a business and a mission, which is a very important mission, aside from being a business, and just being moms? Like, how are you balancing the intensity of it all? Because both being a parent and then building something for kids, not only as a business person, but also as a parent, it's comes with its own challenges. So how are you managing that, Evren?
Turkish coffee. Yeah, yeah, it really is a helper. Like I try to be fully present with whatever I'm doing. That's my thing, as a mom or as a founder. And like my child, Ece, who is a 5-year-old girl, teaches me every day how learning happens. Like every day. And it's a constant like back and forth. It's a big feedback loop for me in whatever I'm doing. And like it's like between parenting and building, if I'm there, then I'm able to get a lot of insight for what I'm doing as well. And I am like, I feel as a mom, I feel good whenever I am with my child, fully present with my child. And as a business owner, I also treat my business as my child as well. And I want to be fully present there too. And also, a growth mindset helps me a lot. Staying flexible, learning from my mistakes, and like saying, okay, I cannot do this just yet, but I am able to do it if I work on it. And like that goes for everything, for relationships, for the things that I'm having difficulty in terms of a mom and child relationship. I have studied child development, but whenever you have a child on your, of yourself, it's different. Game changes completely.
What about you?
It's not easy. I'm a single mom as well, and it adds another layer to all these things. It's not easy, but I think, like Evren said, like it's as we've been in children's media for a long time, we've been exposed to all these child development strategies and perspectives, and growth mindset and positive psychology helped me a lot because the more I learned, the more I tried to implement those with my daughter, and I realized that I'm also taking that as well. Like it's because being positive, seeing the positive side of the things really help. Like you deal with so many problems, you deal with so many house related problems as well. But after all, how we see life is our own choice. I think in general, I'm just trying to see the positive in everything. And I think my daughter is my moral compass. Like I'm constantly checking myself from this how would my child think about me doing that? Would she criticize me for that? How like it's a weird feeling. It's trying to prove yourself to your child, I think. But yeah, of course it has challenges. Everything has challenges.
I think also, though, the mission behind what you're doing is so important that that must help drive everything, whether it's your relationship with your kids or whether it's working on your business. Amazing. How have you found working in this space of AI, which is very male dominated? As women entering this space, it's not common to see female founders, at least the ones I've seen. So, how are you finding running a business in AI as a female in a very male dominated space?
Do you want to go, Evren, or
I think yes, it's a male-dominated space, but I get to meet a lot of women founders, co-founders, and whenever we start talking with them, we start talking about safety. beneficial AI, ethical AI, and then we realize, why are we the ones only talking about those things? Shouldn't it be the whole people like talking about AI, doing things on AI, like the big companies, the big fours, fives, and but then we realize like we bring something on the table that's different. We bring the warmth and the feminine qualities to things, and I embrace them fully. I say, okay, if we're doing this, we should do it in a movement's way, and then be proud of what we are doing, not be
And
ashamed.
Everyone, I think it's also finding your tribe. Like it's who are the people you're surrounding yourself with. We've been even like discussing our investment strategy. Who do we accept as investors? Because this is a child business. We cannot just get money from anyone and everyone. So it's really finding the right people who are speaking the same language and being in the safe space, making sure that you are understood. It can be not, yes, it's a male dominated area, and like whenever especially you are in the now fundraising stage and talking with the investors, 95% now you're dealing with men, and sometimes it comes, okay, tell us more about the numbers, let's put aside all these ethical, responsible, blah blah, literally blah blah, let's talk more about the numbers. We decided that this is such a business with an important mission. So we even came up with a list of principles that's like our own terms and conditions on how to get investments. So it's a bit diverted from the male dominance, but in general, I think it includes all these. Yeah.
No, because it's so important. Like you said, it's easy to fall into that yes when you're dealing with a very male-dominated investor space. And the fact that you're looking hard to find investors that have share the same values as you, because what you're building is so important. It's not just the money will come, but it's also it has to be responsible, it has to be safe. And like you said, we're not having enough of these conversations because also I think it's such a it's such a vague space at the moment as well. We need to be having more of these conversations so that the right guardrails can be put in place, the right regulations can be put in place, the right policies can be put in place, and the money will come.
Appa, we should know that AR is not a technical thing anymore once it comes to our lives. People call it now socio-technical, which is this is in our lives right now, and all the sociological aspect of it comes inside and it really affects everything. I also say it's psychosocial-technical because it also has an individual level of things whenever we interact with things. If you're a user of ChatGPT on a regular basis, you would say your life would be different than how it was 3 years ago. And same will go with everything very soon. So, and once we are dealing with those things, I think the balance the women will bring will be much more important.
And I think just the last question to close, really, you have such a big mission here. What is your bigger vision for what you're doing? Because right now, obviously, your product is for the child and giving AI assistant to develop a child. But what is your vision on how this can help us as families, not just for children, but also for mothers and caregivers? How can they be empowered by, even if it's just assisting their child in using a tool like what you're building?
In our deck, actually, we defined our vision as our main vision mission is we want to be the most trusted kid tech company. Technology might change, evolve into different forms, but our main currency is trust here. How can we ensure this trust, and how can we really ensure that our team is doing always the right thing? So we've been today actually in one of our meetings, we've been discussing we should have internal mechanism to check all these elements in the team because they are so interconnected. If the technology team is going to implement something on the technology side on coding, that content is coming from Innovation Hub and it's filtering and it comes after lots of thinking. So this elaborate work and this dedication and prioritizing the mission is our core is that, I guess.
Great. It's amazing. I'm so excited to see what you're building and what will come of it and the show. There is not enough media on educating kids on anything, let alone AI in general. I feel like there's not good quality content for kids to watch. So if you can actually put something together that can give kids AI literacy by watching something interesting, and also then give them the tool to use so that they can use it to help themselves. I'm so excited for it. And I'm sure everyone who watches this will also be. Yep. Is there
Yeah,
anything?
I would add a small thing, as you mentioned the media part, because in the story, Zoe and Oli is the story of this 10-year-old girl whose childhood dream was to be friends with a unicorn. Growing up, learning that unicorns are not real, she now, with this new expertise she has, builds her own AI and solar-powered unicorn robot. So it's her journey to build something while we will walk the kids through that journey, because it's basically understanding the background of all these things. Then the technical part comes with learning, and it will follow this journey of Zoe doing that, and it will help every child to be able to like come up with something like that, either on the AI side as an assistant or on the robotic side. So we are really excited to start with that. We already started writing, like the production has already started, but it will be another couple months. Yeah.
And there's a real tension right now. Like on one side, people are afraid of AI. On the other side, there's a big hype going on around AI. AI will bring a lot of tools with it. And if people are able to grab AI literacy concepts at a very early level, they will be able to use them much more wisely. And then maybe we can use AI to really come up with a sustainable development that everybody wants, an equal world, like a much more equal, diverse type of thinking world where everybody is able to have access to tools that can empower them, that can educate them, that can make them greater, more self-fulfilled human beings. That's part of our vision too.
Amazing. No, I'm so excited. I'm honestly so excited for what you guys are building. And I'm so happy to be connected with you. And thank you for your time and for sharing your story and your wonderful adventure that you're going to go on now. And thank you to all those listening. I hope you enjoyed that. And stay connected to Kids AI.
Thank you, Alpa.